This program is paid for by Innovative Medical Associates. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Innovative Medical Associates or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPH.D or Odyssey.
Talk Radio 1210 WPH.D, WPH.D HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Now, Health Watch, featuring Dr. Molly Fantasia, the Ph.D. doctor and founder of Innovative Medical Associates, with valuable information that could help you improve your quality of life. Now, Health Watch.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Health Watch. And if you're wondering where spring went, I'm wondering too. It's cold out there. Good morning again and welcome to the show. Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. I'm your host, John DeMasi, with the one and only Dr. Molly Fantasia, the Ph.D. doctor, the executive director, and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, located in Marlton, New Jersey. We are going to talk about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of Innovative Medical Associates, how they can help you potentially with any of your problems, and maybe you'll feel better in the long run. That's what we do here on the show. It's our mission statement. And if you have a question for Dr. Molly, or if you want to just run something by her, 855-839-1210 is the number here in the studio, 855-839-1210. And again, Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And a good morning to Dr. Molly.
Hey, John, we don't have any shout-outs today except to all my wonderful staff.
That's right. That is true. Without them,
you bet.
That's right.
Bet. And it's been, quite a journey.
We're going to talk about a lot of things today here on the show. But first of all, I wanted to ask you, why you ended up doing what you did as far as starting Innovative Medical, and that was like 28 years ago.
27, 28 in October.
Yeah, right.
You're right.
I mean, so why did you... What is the impetus behind that?
Okay, because really what happened is I started to look at healthcare options for myself. I had a little challenge, and I just didn't like the options that were out there. Of course, you'll hear me always say, look, if you have a serious condition and it requires surgery like cancer, get it out, right? Get it out. If it can get out, get out. But, lots of times, sometimes people can't do all that, and they're faced with some life-threatening decisions that are not just life-threatening from the challenge, but from actually the remedy, so to speak. And therein lied the rub. And so I decided at that point, I started looking at all the European literature that was out there. Remember, I am a bench chemist by trade. I'm a molecular biology major as well as a clinical chemistry major. So I was in the hospital. I was working for a large system at the time, running a particular laboratory, particularly for outpatient. So I had access to wonderful physicians, including wonderful pathologists. I really enjoyed my work, but I realized there has to be a better way for me to handle what I had faced. So I went out, I started looking at the European literature. I started looking at the literature in terms of what was out there in terms of trials, these kinds of things. And I also searched out medicinal remedies from yesteryear. What did people treat certain conditions, whether it was cancer or fatigue or whatever, from minor to major? How was that treated in the old time when we had the old time GPs? I guess like Dr. Welby or whatever, right? Or Kildare, but that type of thing. And what I saw was, indeed, they had some success. If you really go by the numbers and you look at the statistics, you say to yourself, okay, the statistics say such and such works. Maybe it's a natural product on this portion of a condition. So I started looking at all of that, and I said, you know what? I got involved with some wonderful holistic nurses, and even till today, I have great nurses. And I got involved with a wonderful physician who he was brilliant. He was a foreign-born physician, but he was an anesthesiologist. And we started looking at this, and then we started to look at what is the most effective way to really deliver some of these products or these items. And of course, we both looked at each other one day and we said, hey, absolutely, it has to be IV, because that's the most direct hit you can get. Then we started researching people back then. When you go back to like 96 or 90. That was the beginning or the beginning of the arc of people looking at integrative medicine. They had just, the United States had just formed CAM, Complementary and Alternative Medicine, a department in terms of the National Institutes of Health. So it was coming around. It wasn't fully known, and yet we saw everybody delivering oral products, nutraceuticals, homeopathic, blah, blah, blah. We didn't see many people doing IV therapies. So we decided to jump in full force, and that's how we got here.
And so this is sort of like a discovery.
There was a discovery process, and basically I wanted it to work on me, and when I found out I was feeling better, and again, we don't cure anything. We don't cure. What we do is we help to arrest the challenge or hold it down if we can, and really improve your quality of life, which has been our motto since day one.
Why is you mentioned hydration?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you go that route? In other
Most
words,
direct,
why is it today?
Well, first of all, because my initial medical director and subsequent medical directors since then have been anesthesiology, and that was very important to me because they understand the mechanism of delivering something in an IV bag. In that it's safe. You have to look at things. I don't want to bore people, but you have to look at the mixtures you put together, right? You just don't throw something in a person. So I really enjoyed working with this, and I realized it's the most direct way to effectuate a change.
Now, you're talking about that, but then there was another step after that. You developed your own protocols
with the
help of doctors,
right? Of course.
And how did that come about? And
well, it came about because one good thing is I was not afraid to utilize the nutraceuticals on myself. So I was always in a position where I would say, oh, let's put a little more of this in and a little less of that and a little bit of this. It's sort of like, hey, listen, all the folks out there who are cooks, right, in the kitchen, you get it. You start looking at your ingredients. You say, hey, this might overpower something else in the stew, let's say, or in our case, the gravy, right? Okay.
Yes.
So what we tried to do was I looked at all of this, and ultimately I started using these on ourselves and my staff, and eventually using it on patients, and really actually chronologically looking at the outcomes for patients.
Now, it worked in your case.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of cases where it has worked.
Mm-hmm.
But what can you tell people? Does this kind of medicine work?
Well, here's the thing, John. It depends on what you're looking to do. If you're asking me or any physician to cure you, I would say that's a tall order, okay? And you ask my physicians to cure you, they're going to say, well, we don't cure anything. But we sure can improve your quality of life. And the other thing that I believe that this works is, remember, you'll never hear me disparage conventional medicine. When you need a pharmaceutical, if you need chemotherapy, if you need something for your autoimmune disease, we're going to tell you to use it. But what we do is add something to these things, and we use them carefully with a lot of thought so that they don't interfere with the mechanism of action of the conventional. So we're always adding something to improve your quality of life and possibly, just possibly, help you get through conventional treatment, because many people don't. Many people don't.
That's true. But when you're talking about adding, I know you don't want to give away protocols and all
like
that.
Vitamin C.
But
sure.
Yeah, but that's one of the main things.
Sure, it can be, yeah.
And what does that do?
Well, it helps. It's an antioxidant. It can help reduce inflammation. It can just give you extra energy. There's a lot. It's how you use things together, synergies of products, whether you're using things like micropeptides, whether you're using things to detox a patient. It really depends. When a patient comes to us, each patient is individual, and no two patients, for the most part, are getting the same. They may have an overlap in some ingredients, which is why sometimes two people have, let's say, yellow bags, but the rest of the mixture is really unique to the patient.
We are talking about patients, and all the time we say, oh, I'm coming twice a week, then somebody else is 4 times a week, somebody's coming once a week. What's the norm? Is there a norm there?
Well, it depends. One of the things that's very frustrating for me is that if people have a really challenging condition, okay, cancer for one, and you come in at the end stage, well, you're going to have to be here a little more often, and you may have to be here for a little longer time. But the good news is we've treated patients like this. We've helped them through their traditional treatment so they were able to be around long after what their oncology or their surgeon or whatever told them they wouldn't be.
So it seems like it's I don't know how to say this, but it seems like it is really all over the place as far as it's individualized medicine, really.
Right. It's personalized medicine, I would say. Plus, it has a level of concierge medicine to it because, people come in. One of the things that's very interesting is you may start with me, you're coming in for, I'm fatigued. By the time we're done, I hear, I have gallbladder problems, we have this, we have that, and I got to get the docs in it. Pain is another interesting thing. Somebody comes in and says, my knees are hurting, right? And then we find out they have osteoarthritis. It isn't just they banged their knee, right? And then they have other problems, and we find out, hey, they have systemic inflammation. So they need an additional amount of therapy. It really depends on the patient, John, and why you come in.
And so it's all over the place. I mean, it could be twice a week. It could be 5 times a week. It could be 4 times.
Right. And then you go down once we bring you back to homeostasis, or is what I like to say, the Goldilocks theory, in balance, then you go down to a maintenance dose. That could be once a month, once every other month, once every 6 weeks. I run the gamut there. It depends on the patient.
There was a patient, he's been coming more often, but now he said, I'm down to, once every other week.
Right.
And he listens to us here on the radio.
Oh, that's cool.
And, he was just telling me, I know you. He said, I hear all the stories.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's really, again, specialized medicine for individuals.
And what we want to do is we really want to look at advanced strategies to help our particular patients. This includes my physicians for the best possible resolution of their particular healthcare challenge. It's as simple as that.
You've had a lot of cases over the years.
Yeah.
We've talked about many of them. We're going to talk about later on in the show another one of those cases. It's a mini miracle. I'll put it that way.
Well, I don't. God's the one that has miracles. You know that. I believe the big physician's upstairs there. He's watching over all of us, and I'll tell you, I am blessed to feel that He has been blessed our facility with 2 great doctors, a great nursing staff. All of my staff is fully involved in the patient care. You know that without a doubt. And generally will go the extra mile to make sure quality of life issues are addressed for each and every patient.
Can you tell us just in general, how long would it take in general to see results, effectuate change?
Yeah, well, I think you start to see results maybe in as little or depending on how often you come in, 5 weeks. And ultimately, most protocols go between 10 and 30 treatments. Some may go longer. Again, I had a patient we'll talk about. He was here for 11 weeks every day. 5 days 1 week, 6 days another. So you talk about that. It was an interesting case.
Yes.
And that's unusual,
yes.
but done. But you saw one way back. It's in my book. It's in my book, and it's in the re-release because it's still one of those cases that stays with you forever.
And boy, that was a
doozy.
That was a tough one. We are coming up on our first break of the morning. It is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPH.D. I'm your host, John DeMasi, with Dr. Molly Fantasia, the Ph.D. doctor, the executive director, and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, located in Marlton, New Jersey. 855-839-1210 is the number here in the studio. And you know what we do at this time of the show? We always tell you, call in early. We'll have plenty of time to talk to you and try to help you out with your situation. 855-839-1210, again, is the number here in the studio. We are coming back. Dr. Molly and I return with more of today's Health Watch after these words. Operators are standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates. And if you would like to call them and make an appointment to sit down with Dr. Molly, it is complimentary. And the number, 856-489-0000. 0505, 856 489 0505. Again, when you call, you want to make that appointment to sit down with Dr. Molly and go over your situation, and you will really learn a lot. Believe me, you'll find out a lot about your situation, and if whether or not Dr. Molly can help you, it's really worth your while. 856-489-0505, and the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, innovativemedicalassociates.com. It is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are talking about really a variety of things, all leading up to why Dr. Molly does what she does. And is there any other reason why you do what you do?
So yeah, John, I think there's several
million reasons, right?
There's a million reasons, and I can tell you there are several thousand reasons if I look at all the patients who have come through our facility in the past 28 years. You know, our strategy is such that we want to achieve the best outcome in terms of the health of our patients, okay? So it's unique in that, because of my background and because I have such wonderful physicians, what we're doing is we're employing certain knowledge that you get from looking at the neuroendocrine, immunology, and molecular biology and nutrition for a patient. Now, that's big words, guys, and it's so simple. What we do is we look at the laboratory data that you have, we check what's going on, we see if you're maybe possibly anemic, whatever, looking at everything conventional. We won't put an IV, we start our IVs in a way that works. We make sure that the patient can absolutely utilize what we put in. And the idea is we're using a up-to-date approach to really look at changing the physiology. Now, notice what I said, physiology of the patient, not changing, we're going to cure your disease. What we are trying to do is actually help you by the use of these things like interleukins. You've heard me talk about them. They're communicating low dose types of things that we use. We use growth factors. We use nutrition. That's where the nutrition comes in, and the effects of certain of the constituents of that nutrition that actually physiologically can re-regulate a patient back in balance. So, and we look at homeopaths, which you know I love, but I'm not a conventional homeopath. I don't say I'm a homeopathic physician. What I say is that I'm a scientist who understands that certain homeopathic substances in subclinical dosing can effectuate change in the body itself.
And why subclinical dosing?
Because we don't need a large dosing of some things. We need more in others, but we don't need it in everything. What we're trying to do is bring the body back in balance. And again, you'll notice I give out high doses of vitamin C. I give out high doses of B vitamins, but I give out the things that are appropriate for the patient. If a patient has a dysregulation in his or her B vitamin metabolism, I look at that, right? So we need to extract the proper form of B vitamin for him. It's a little complex, but it's really not. It's trying to use God's ingredients in a way that actually helps a patient get back in balance and also helps a patient use or enhances their conventional outcome. I have two conventional physicians, both board certified, one in anesthesia, one in women's health. You know, so we're not going to put you, we don't look at just saying, okay, we're going to correct all this like, woo-woo. No. But what we have to do is look at how we do this. How do we help a patient achieve optimal health while going through what might be a terrible type of condition?
And again, I'm going to ask the question, does this approach work?
Yeah, come on in and talk to my patients. Let's look at the laboratory stuff. I have qualitative data. People will tell me, I'm walking further. You're one of them.
Yes.
You said to me, I'm walking a little bit more. I'm up a little bit longer, right? I'm having better sleep. I hear all of that.
Yeah.
That's the qualitative data. Then we look at the blood work. Okay, how's the hemoglobin? How's the hematocrit? Is there something out of ordinary? Are the cancer markers going down? Is something going up up that we need to address. That's where our physicians come in, make a clinical assessment, and I say these kinds of things can work in this situation. I use some natural products or whatever and say, listen, Doc, what do you think about us doing this, this, and this? Go ahead, Molly, go do it. And that's the game.
You just did that with me. You took blood the other day, and then you told me.
Well, you have a slight decrease in your hematocrit and hemoglobin, which means it's contributing to a little bit of anemia. Not enough to be worried about. Obviously, you're doing the show. You're doing another show on another station. Quite wrong. You're doing personal appearances. So you're working. But just that little bit showed me that you might need some iron extract, which we're going to talk about next week when you come in. It's a simple process to help keep you going. And remember, you have several challenges all going on at once. Okay?
That's right.
So we need to be 100% in the game with you. Okay?
And you are. So
I try.
I will thank you for that. But it seems like it's complicated, but it's really not. It's simple.
Let's start like this. First thing we look at when a patient comes in is we're going to look at detoxification. In other words, is there a challenge in your body detoxing certain elements? Do you have a problem? Whether it be heavy metals, whatever. Okay, tell me about this. Are the organs in the elimination process working at a maximum level? That means your GI tract, your urinary tract, right? Even our skin breathes, lets out sweat. Are you doing all this? And is there something that maybe we need to look at in order to improve that by putting it in the bag? And we can. Then we're going to look at the balance. What we need to do is we have to look at this physiological re-regulating. I'm going to talk about this ongoing because this is what separates us from a spa. It does. It's physiological re-regulating medicine. It is taking in the neuro, which is your brain, all the neurofunctions, the endocrine, your hormones, the immune axis. These things all communicate with each other, and when they're out of whack or out of balance, you end up in a disease state. When we help you come back to balance by looking at what components can we use in the bag to bring you back. Let's say, for example, you have Crohn's. I'm going to be doing a Crohn's patient this week who's traveling in from, I think, Ohio. And in that case, you've heard me say many times that I'm going to utilize nutraceuticals or natural products, but I'm also going to utilize what? Some low-dose traditional pharmaceutical in a very low dose, right? In a very low dose.
Yeah, but why the low dose?
Because the low dose can go back into our body, go into the area it needs to do, the pathways that it needs to do, and help the body slowly correct itself without hitting you with the big guns, which would be a full dose of the pharmaceutical.
Which, of course, could lead to side effects.
Right. That's exactly right, John. So there are ways, but then you need to have what else we're giving you, which is the supportive therapies, okay? What we need is to support, and we need to help your body communicate. Communicate, meaning the systems communicate with each other. So I have to put in the right type of things that what? Help the mitochondria, which is the energy base of the cell. That's the powerhouse of the cell. If that gets screwed up, forget about it. So here we are. We've got to look at this. The nutritional support then works in conjunction with what we're doing with that low dose of the pharmaceutical.
We are coming up on our halfway point of the show, and I always say time flies when you're having fun. It's Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPH.D. I'm your host, John DeMasi, with Dr. Molly Fantasia, the Ph.D. doctor, the executive director, and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, located in Marlton, New Jersey. 855-839-1210 is the number here in the studio. If you have a question or you have a medical challenge you want to run by Dr. Molly, now's the time to call in, 855-839-1210. It's Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are coming back, Dr. Molly and I, with more of today's Health Watch after these words. We are back here on Health Watch, and again, operators are standing by at Innovative Medical Associates. And the number, 856 856-489-0505. 856-489-0505. When you call, you want to book that initial consultation with Dr. Molly. It is complimentary, doesn't cost you anything, and you're going to learn a lot. You learned a lot here on the show. You're going to learn a lot in person, believe me. 856-489-0505. And the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. You'll learn a lot from the website, too. innovativemedicalassociates.com. That's the website. It is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHC. We're going to the phones, and we're talking to Steve in Cinnaminson. Hi, Steve. You're on Health Watch with Dr. Molly.
Hi, Steve. Good morning.
Hi, Dave.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
Love your show.
Thank you.
Anyway,
we love our callers.
I'm 81.
Thank you. 81. You're a young guy. Come on.
Well, from the neck up, you're right. Anyway, I have rheumatoid arthritis.
Right.
I get shot up every 3 months with cortisone in my shoulders. They say I need a new shoulder. I'm bone on bone. So now they're telling me I should go to the infusion, the R drugs.
Yeah.
Well,
the biologic.
I'm kind of scared to.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to do that, to be honest with you.
You know what, Steve? Of course, I'm not going to tell you to go against your physician, but the bottom line is this. It sounds like they're going to put you on a pretty heavy-duty regiment. So, you got to sort of weigh this out. I'll tell you, you're a prime candidate to come in call my office and come in on a Tuesday. That's when Dr. Pat's there looking at people who have these kinds of problems, and maybe we can chat a little bit. Do you have all of your studies? Do you have the studies that you had, like your x-rays and your MRIs, that kind of thing? You have the results?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, I've been through a lot of them.
Okay.
They all say the same thing. I have arthritis. My MRI say it. My CT scan says it.
Well,
I got all my blood work. I had to.
Good.
I'm on methotrexate and methylprednisone, so they won't give it to me. And I have to go get the blood work before they give me.
Yes, of course. You know why? That drug is tough. Yeah, it's tough, buddy. It's tough.
Well, you know what? I have to take 24 milligrams of methotrexate.
God bless you.
I take it.
God bless. Can I ask a personal question? What did you do for your living, your work, before you retired? Let's say. What did you do?
Well, I didn't retire.
Good. That a boy.
I'm just a salesman. I sell cars, used cars now. I work on used car lots. I didn't really do a lot. I I have bad arthritis. I can't. Over the years it got worse. I was diagnosed also with big cell arthritis. What they call that.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, you got. Talk to me a little bit more. I'll tell you what I think. I think you'd be a prime candidate. See, this is the interesting thing. Arthritis is, of course, a total inflammation, right? It's an inflammatory process. Look, when you need the drug, you need the drug. I'm not going to tell you any different. I have a patient who's been with me a very long time. You know her, Sandy. When you need some time to do the drug, you do that. But I'll tell you, I think we could give you the best in the way of supportive care and hopefully improve your quality of life because, you just can't keep getting the methotrexate. You just can't keep staying on those things. Maybe you got to do something conventionally, but I would also look at possibly augmenting that, which makes us different than other places. We look at adding something to your protocol that may help you have quality of life while going through some of this because those drugs are harsh, my friend. I wish you a lot of luck, but I would love to see you. No problem. It's free consult.
They say even if I take the infusion, I still got to do the drugs. I still got to take the methotrexate. I asked them that.
Yeah, I know.
Geez, I don't want to pump all that stuff in me.
I understand. You ought to come in for the free consult, my friend. God bless you.
Steve, thanks a lot for the call.
He's a great patient for Dr. Pat.
I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a real fast question?
Go ahead.
Should I do that RSV shot? They keep telling me I should take that RSV shot.
Boy, what a loaded question, Steve. Listen, that's an individual decision. I'm going to tell you, I'm 76. How about I tell it to you this way? I didn't take it, okay? I don't want to, I didn't take it, okay? God, but I can't tell you what to do. God
right.
bless you,
No,
Steve.
I'm just asking you because they keep telling me to take it.
I know.
Yeah.
What do you feel like doing? What do you feel like doing?
I mean, I got the pneumonia shot. I take that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And,
Okay.
I get the flu shot, but I don't know about that one. I never heard of it.
Yeah. Okay. God bless you, Steve.
We could do a whole show
we
on
can
that.
do a whole show on that. God bless him.
Steve, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it. 855-839-1210. That's our number here in the
John,
studio.
people love to put Dr. Molly on the spot.
Yeah,
and,
especially about vaccines.
Yeah,
and all that
yeah.
stuff.
You know how I feel. You know how we feel as a facility. But the bottom line is this: look, I will never discourage a patient from doing what they feel is right for their body, and we will never turn a patient away. If you want to follow a total conventional route and you just want to come in for some tune-ups, we're your folks, but we will also educate you while you're sitting there. You know that.
Yeah, and he was on a pretty heavy dose of.
He's on a lot of stuff.
It's
a very interesting thing.
Steve, you may want to call the operators and book that appointment with Dr.
God bless him.
855-839-1210. We're going to talk about Lester, and this is I think this is me talking. I think this is another Innovative Medical Associates minor miracle.
Well, I believe that only the man upstairs does miracles. But this is a good example. He's 37 years old, works hard, nice people, okay? He was with us for 11 weeks. 11 weeks.
Wow. And he was there
11 weeks. 11 weeks.
And every day.
Every day. 1 week it was 5 days a week. 1 week it might have been 6 days a week. But he was with us every day almost. And, of course, I followed up with him, phone calls on the weekend. But he came to us with 3 very, very serious challenges. He had a bacterial infection called Q fever, which is not usually found in this region. He had histoplasmosis, which is another type of infection. This is all infecting his lungs and systemically in his blood. And he had candida by culture, which means blood culture was in his blood. So you can see he has 3 serious conditions. So when we got back the lab results, and by the way, he went to hospitals, and he went to actually a big hospital in Ohio, a fairly big one. And they sent him home and said, you had a virus. He went to 2 of his regional hospitals in Ohio. And every time he went in, he was told he just has a virus, go home. And over this period of time, he was nursing these things for 6 or 7 months. Over this period of time, he seemed to get worse and worse and worse. He heard about us through someone else we had worked with. He came right down when I got on the phone, and I said, I think I can help you. We can't make any promises. We can't cure your condition, but I think I can get you feeling a whole lot better.
Okay, we're going to pick that up in just a moment, but first we want to talk to Beverly in Ardmore. Beverly, hi, you're on Health Watch with Dr. Molly.
Hi, Beverly.
Good morning. I'm an avid listener of your program. You have such a wealth of information, Dr. Molly.
Thank you.
You are a gift to this world. You really are a gift.
God bless you. Now, the gift is from the man upstairs. You know that. God bless you.
I hear you. I've called in before. My question today is, I seem to be getting UTIs, and I want to know if people sometimes have a predisposition to that.
Yeah, there are some natural products that are out there that are good. Have you used anything in the past for your UTI? I mean, naturally. Have you?
Well, I know that I take probiotics
Good.
for, prevention. But I've called in before. I've had cancer 3 times. I was diagnosed with a low diabetic situation. But I'm on metformin 2 times a day.
Good.
And then they found a nodule on my lung and a cyst on my pancreas where they're going to do a biopsy. So I'm not an alarmist. My family is very concerned, but I'm just wondering on the UTI. I mean, I also had I've had a number of surgeries. Had my had a hysterectomy. So, but I'm just wondering the predisposition. I mean, I eat organic. I don't know what else to do. And I'm just wondering why I continually get, not every, month or anything, but what I can do. I know they talk about cranberry juice.
Sure.
So I'm just wondering what your suggestion would be.
Well, I think it would be interesting. Do they send these out for culture all the time?
They do.
I mean, okay.
They do.
And what does it come back as for the most part?
Oh, you mean scientifically?
Yeah. What's it come back? What's the bacteria?
I was never told. I never was told.
Well,
but,
you know what? See, right there, Beverly, you're a smart lady. I would say to the doctor, did they run a culture and sensitivity? What antibiotics did they put you on to cure whatever is causing these? Because here's a situation where conventional is important. If you have something like that, they send out the urine, they culture the urine, which you said you've done. Then they run something called sensitivities, which means sensitive to what type of antibiotic, and they'll give you a list of what is sensitive. Sometimes the doctor has to move within that list, but I suspect that somehow you have been missing the mark on that. In other words, there are certain antibiotics that would work in certain conditions, and it would be very interesting to see if this is a repeat infection and they just haven't given you enough of the traditional med to wipe it out, and at the same time you're doing everything right by utilizing the probiotics while you're on those antibiotics. So I do think you should get a little more information from your doc too, really. Okay. God bless you, my dear. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
I just asked you in terms of the cyst on my pancreas. Well, the doctor said it's nothing to be concerned about. I mean, they are going to do a biopsy. They found it last year. They did it, I think, an MRI. But now they said they want to go in and just test it.
How old are you, Bev? How old are you, Bev?
78.
58? 78. Oh, okay. Okay, I can't. I'm having trouble with these earphones. Go ahead.
I'm
yes,
sorry.
78.
78.
Okay. Well, are they going to do a needle?
The last thing I want is cancer again for the fourth time.
God forbid. Listen, well, we're going to put you on our prayer list for sure. But I will tell you that take it easy, see what the deal is. Has the thing grown? Is that why he wants to do the biopsy? Has it grown or has it stayed the same?
Well, they only saw it one time last year, so now they're going in again, and they don't want to. They just want to take a biopsy instead of just taking a picture of it.
Yeah, I understand. They want to do. Are they going to do a needle biopsy or something? I mean, I don't know.
Correct.
What are
endoscopy. Yeah.
Okay.
Endoscopy. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, God bless you and good luck with that.
All right, Beverly. Thanks a lot for the call.
Thank you. That's rough.
We are coming up on another break here. It's Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. 855-839-1210 is the number. We still have time to take one or two of your quick calls if you have a question or a thought for Dr. Molly or a medical challenge you want to run by her. 855-839-1210. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, the PhD doctor, the executive director, and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates located in Marlton, New Jersey. And I'm your host, John DeMasi. We're coming back with more Health Watch after these words. Operators standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates, and they will be there well after we leave you at 9 o'clock this morning. They don't take a break. They don't go home. 856-489-0505. 856-489-0505. That's the number. You want to call and set up that appointment for the initial consultation with Dr. Molly, and you will learn a lot from that. Trust me on that. 856-489-0505. And the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, innovativemedicalassociates.com. And remember, if you miss any of today's show, we have the Health Watch replay, 4 o'clock this afternoon from 4 until 5. It's the Health Watch replay. It's this morning's show this afternoon. Very simple if you miss any of it or you want to hear it again, 4 to 5 this afternoon here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. It is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Got a couple of minutes left of the show, and if you have a question, 855-839-1210. We're going to continue to talk about Lester. And again, I say it's a minor miracle. But,
John, here's the thing. So Lester comes in, as I said. He went everywhere around him. They kept sending him home. Comes up to see us. Immediately when I saw him, he looked emaciated. He looked malnourished. malnourished. And, of course, the immediate thing was, okay, I had to test for these particular substances. I ran blood cultures. We ran all this. But while doing that, I was giving him pure nutritional IVs. So for the first week, we had to send out to find out what was causing all these problems, right? I mean, blood work, radiology, cardiology. We send him to people who are friends of the clinic, and of course we can do the blood work because we are a licensed primary care facility. So we run all this, and then we discovered that he has these three kinds of conditions. Now, that being said, in order to eradicate these conditions, you can give them IV medication. You can use an antifungal, you can use a heavy-duty antibiotic, but to deliver those in the way he was, in the debilitated state that he was in, could kill him. When I looked at this, he was like 100 and maybe 18 pounds. He's 5'7.5". He was like, he looked like a skeleton.
Yeah, he
right?
really did.
Pale, power was bad. And when we got back the first set of blood work, we saw that he was anemic and he had all kinds of shifts in his white blood cell count because the white blood cells were trying to eliminate these toxins that were created from the bacteria and the fungus, but couldn't because he just was so undernourished. Okay, so for the first week, we were just nourishing him. The second week, of course, when we sent out the blood cultures and they finally came back, and by the way, you don't make diagnoses on this with one test. You got to send out repeated blood cultures because you can't make a diagnosis of these types of conditions doing one blood test. You got to make sure there was no mistakes, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Eventually, we get back as a series, and I'll be darned. His body was making antibodies to these as well as having it in the culture. So the body was trying to work, but they were so low level because it was a new exposure. So what did we do? We delivered the traditional medication IV, but only after we were able to what? Do the detoxification and give him cellular nutritional support. You see that? Cellular nutritional support, because we were worried that if we started the IVs of the remedies, the traditional antibiotics, antifungals, what could that do? Put him over the edge.
Yeah,
right?
I remember he said to me, he was in the clinic sitting and having his IV, and he said, "I don't know if I'm going to make it." And I thought to myself, wow, this is really a serious case.
He had 3 children. He had 3 children.
Yeah, I mean he's a young guy.
Young guy,
yeah.
right.
We have Frank on the line.
Oh,
Frank
good.
wants to talk to us. Frank in the Northeast, one of our favorite callers. Frank,
hi,
good morning. You're on with Dr. Molly.
Hi, Frank.
Good morning, Dr. Molly and John. I wait till last minute, so John loves that last minute callers and stuff.
Yes, he
That's
does.
right.
Dr. Molly, I'm going to flip the tables here. I called to ask John a question.
Good.
Okay, go ahead.
John, I've been listening to both of you for a long time. Dr. Molly always mentions you work on other stations, you do other shows, but I always forgot to ask you, what day, what station, what time can I catch you on different programs? I'm a fan of yours too, John.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to contact me off the air, I'll tell you, because stations feel funny about mentioning other stations, so I won't do that. But it's a Saturday morning, and you'll be happy to listen to it, and I'll be happy to have you as a listener. Okay, Frank?
And how to contact you?
You can contact me through Dr. Molly.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
I'll take care of it. Thank you. Hey, Frank, thanks for the question, man. Thanks for the question, because we don't lie.
The first time I called for John.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Have
God
a great
bless.
day.
You too, Frank.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call.
So anyway, you can imagine the challenge I had here. So let me just reiterate this. I know we don't have much time left, John, but he left me at 153 pounds. Started at like 118 or something.
Right. So he gained.
He gained the weight that he needed. He got the nutrition he needed. He got the traditional IV he needed for the antifungal, for the antibacterial conditions he had. We sent him out to the specialists we needed to measure the cardiac function, to measure also his pulmonary function because he was having a hard time breathing. He left me here a very happy man, and more than that, his wife was very happy. In fact, his mom and dad came up to see me too. They were really thrilled, and I got to tell you, he's a case that I say to people, don't listen. When they tell you stuff's in your head or it's just a virus and it doesn't clear up in enough time, please get into action, because it can be anything and you don't want to wait. He was in bad shape.
He was, and this is just one of many cases where you've had people come to you and they say, "Oh, they said it's in my head," or "They said it's nothing,"
it's a
or
virus.
"They said it's a virus."
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, you know what? This poor boy was pretty close to not making it, I would say, and so I give a lot of credit to my two physicians and how we actually were able to deliver this, because we knew if he got into, let's say, one of the big facilities, they would just hit him right away with the antifungals and the antiviral and the antibacterial stuff. Guess what? I don't think he would have made it.
He probably wouldn't have. And with that, we are going to put the wraps on another edition of Health Watch. Don't forget, operators standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates. They will be there well after we leave you at 9 o'clock, 856-489-0505. That's 856-489-0505. And check out the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, innovativemedicalassociates.com. For Dr. Molly Fantasia and everyone at Innovative Medical Associates, the lovely Linda, and our nursing staff, Barbara, Lana, Donna, Jess, Vicky, and Daniel. And then, of course, there's Joanne, Delightful D, Fabulous Fran, and our medical assistant, Sandra. I'm your host, John DeMasi. Thank you for listening. We'll do it all over again next Sunday, Health Watch, 8 till 9, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You take care.
This program is paid for by Innovative Medical Associates. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Innovative Medical Associates or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.